Are you practicing gratitude? Immediately you go, of course, I'm grateful for a lot of things. Yes, I'm sure you are. But the gratitude journaling, are you doing it pen to pad? Are you doing it 365 days a year? I'm going to explain 5 reasons, and there's many more, but 5 reasons and 5 things that gratitude journaling will do for you that can totally change your entire life around, if not physically, definitely from a mindset shift perspective. Welcome to episode 62 of the Positivity Experience, gratitude and why it is the key to so much joy. Check it out. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 62 of the Positivity Experience. It's your girl Lori, and let me tell you, this whole episode, last episode was a little heavy when we were talking about abuse, but this episode is going to be a little bit different, right? Because I like to take you high, I like to take you low, because that's how life works, right? But gratitude has been something in my life and something that I have to remember every single day to practice, because I think we all get caught up in that mix. And I got this great, as I get tons of great DMs in my Instagram, and I have asked if it's okay if I read this on the air, and she said it is. Her name is Madavi. Now, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Just let me know. Pop into my Instagram like you did before. And she says, it's morning, and I've got my stack of 5 journals in front of me, and I'm about to start writing in my gratitude journal. So many days I have written, I am grateful for Lori Wheeler. Thank you so much for the wisdom and lessons you share so generously. In just a few weeks, you have changed how I see the world and my relationships. So many times lately, I've started down the road of why didn't they, or they should have, and I hear your voice in my head. Nobody owes you anything, and you don't need to know their why. And it stops me in my tracks. It's like someone gave me permission to not be offended, and it has lifted something heavy from my heart. I'm learning so much from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I want to extend massive gratitude for even trusting me enough to reach out to me. And it's not necessarily something of oh, look at me, she's thankful for me. That's not what I'm saying. But to have that ability for her to say, you know what? Every time I come up to the why didn't they, or they should have, or even I should have, it stops her, right? Because that's an old mindset. And the beautiful thing is the gratitude journal. And I had a client just yesterday say to me, I never thought pen to pad was that powerful, because very often when we're talking about gratitude, we're talking about it and you think, oh, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for my family. I say I'm thankful. I pray. I do all of these things. Beautiful. Don't want you to stop it. But until you put pen to pad and you dedicate a minimum of 10 minutes a day, 365 days a year, I don't care if you're not feeling it. I don't care if you're in a bad mood. I mean, obviously, if you're super sick and you can't do it, I hear you. But I'm saying that's one thing. But if it's I just don't feel like doing it, or my day is going great and I don't need to worry too much about it, that's when you do it. Because it's easy, and I've said this to you guys before, it's easy to do good when things are going good. You're oh my God, I'm motivated. This feels great. I'm vibing. And then the moment your mind shifts, you go into a little bit of a depression, you go into some anxiety, you're oh my God, I just can't. Okay, that's when you perform. That's when you show up. It's easy for anybody to show up while things are going good. But it's how you show up when they're not. Even in the darkest days, I promise you there's space for gratitude. And that's why I really wanted to do this today. Number one, to follow up after kind of a heavier topic last week, but to really give you something that is absolutely free, but absolutely priceless. Better than anything you'll buy on Amazon, any car, any house, any relationship, any clothes, any shoes. None of it will matter as much as gratitude. Not only is it there for the abundance for you, gratitude, you should never do gratitude with any expectation, but when you have gratitude, that energy attracts more of that energy. Now, that being said, if you're constantly negative, guess what? You're going to attract more of that energy. Because remember, the universe doesn't care what you want or don't want. The universe hears what you align with. And you can be well, I just don't want to align with it. I'm just afraid. Okay. The moment you give into your fear, the moment you worry about something, the universe does not care what you want or don't want. It's going to hear that that's what you believe you have. Because remember, manifestation is always rooted in what you believe that you already have by the feeling state. You can do 744 division boards, But if you're constantly in a state of lack and constantly in a state of worry, you're also not in a space of gratitude, and you definitely won't be in abundance. So I want to talk to you. I'm going to give you like 5. I promise you there's probably like 105, but I want to give you about 5 different hardcore topics on what you will notice when you start practicing your gratitude journaling. So before we get into the positives to it, I want to kind of give you, and it sounds silly to be like, well, how do you gratitude? Number 1, don't overthink the process. Okay. And I do want to specify the difference between your gratitude journal and your positivity journal. So your gratitude journal is a space of being, right? Like I'm thankful for, I'm grateful for my cats. I'm grateful for the moon. I'm grateful for the wind today. I'm grateful for being upright. I'm grateful, for I'm looking at my little kitty cat slippers that I got in Salem years ago. I'm grateful for those because they make me happy. Like everything doesn't have to be over the top where you're trying to force it and you're trying to, oh my God, what could I be grateful for? So many things that we as humans take advantage of and take for granted that it's just supposed to happen. And that's not a true statement. Okay. So in the gratitude journal, it's going to be allowing you to do 10 minutes in a timer. You timer it on your phone or wherever you have a timer, pen to pad in a separate journal of the things that you're grateful for. It's fine if you're repetitive in them, but just don't, sit and look at other things. Like I'm trying to look, I'm in the closet doing this now. And like I said, I'm grateful for the kitty cat slippers. I'm actually grateful for this pile of laundry here because I see that there's something there that I remembered that I wanted to pack that I wasn't going to pack. So I'm grateful for that. Okay. Positive journal is action oriented. So when you go to your positive and negative journal prompt in there could be something like, wow, I did my gratitude journal this morning and I feel really whole. That's an action item. So think of the positivity journal. And again, you don't always have to write in it if there's nothing there to write. But when you are writing in it, that's action-oriented, where gratitude is just for the state of being, okay? So when you do this, you've got to practice it, like I said, 365 days a year, making it a priority. Every human has the same 24 hours in the day. You can maximize your time. Maybe you don't scroll so much on the internet. Maybe you get up 10 minutes earlier. Maybe you sacrifice 10 minutes of your lunch. I don't know. You find out what works best for you. I prefer you do it in the morning. But honestly, anytime you do it it's still gratitude, but it's a really amazing way to start your day because, very often we do get caught up in like, oh my God, I got so much to do, or this isn't working out in my favor. And so you get caught up in the negative aspect of it, but you're not getting caught up in the space of let me be grateful for. Okay. So let's start with, and like I said, I'm going to give you 5, but I promise you there's more. So number 1 is you're going to find positivity in each day. All right. So even in the darkest of times, okay, there is something for you to have gratitude for, even in the darkest, bleakest times. Because when you're in a dark, depressive, awful state or in a trauma or there's something negative going on, there's something to be taken from it. So, sometimes you don't always see it in that moment either. So you have to force yourself to find something within the positivity part of the day, right? So, and you guys all know I've used all of my traumas and the healing to have this as a profession, and all of the things I do came from my trauma because I took something negative and turned it into something positive. Now, in the middle of it, sometimes it's hard to see. So maybe it's getting a drink of water from a water fountain. Maybe it's going into the bathroom just to get away from the chaos in the house. Maybe you're grateful for having the bathroom that you can get away from all of the stress. But you have to allow yourself to find the positive. Where is the silver lining in whatever is going on in the day? So what this allows you to do by starting your day is it establishes something to be grateful for. So while you feel like you're completely out of control in every other area of your life, you could get up and, again, looking at my kitty cat slippers, go, I do have those slippers. Those do make me happy. Everything else could be a total shit show in your life, but you can be happy and grateful for having those kitty cat slippers. And that's the thing. What it allows you to do is not just wake up and go down a negative hole, because now that's become a default, right? When you have trauma, when you've gone through things, sometimes you have now defaulted yourself to be all negative, right? Glass half empty, everything's catastrophic. So that's just where we need to shift and change your mindset perspective. By the way, nobody's going to change it for you. So it's about having other avenues to allow yourself to reprogram. Because essentially what you're going to do, and what the whole concept of reprogramming and shifting your mindset is, to kind of rewrite the tapes that you've already told yourself about the negativity. Like, oh, I have to prepare for the worst. This is going to be a terrible day. This person's going to do this. Sure. Then that's all you're going to see. So by starting your day with a minimum of 10 minutes a day of gratitude, it allows you, even if your brain wants to go down the negative, it's forcing you to stay positive. So don't just do, and here's the secret, don't just do it as like, okay, day's going to suck, but fine, I'll do this exercise, I guess. And no, if you're going to go into it with that attitude, don't bother. Okay. I want you to literally look around you. It's almost like when Marie Kondo has you do, like tidying up with Marie Kondo, how she has you touch your items and say, does this bring me joy? So what she's doing essentially is having you stay present. Do you find value in the item? Is it something that brings you some sort of comfort and peace? Or is it something that you're holding on to because it's like you're familiar and you're comfortable with it? And essentially that's the same exact thing. So don't just do the exercise in thinking, oh, this is going to make me feel better. If you're not doing the exercise and being all the way in, then don't do it. I mean, that's with any part of your healing. You can't just get up, do your deep breathing, do your meditation, do your wellness, do all of that stuff and constantly stay in a space of negative thinking. Then you're just doing actions and then you're going, that doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work because you're not committing to it. You're not saying, as bad as today may be, I'm going to feel my slippers, in my case. I'm going to feel my slippers. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to put them on my feet. They're little kitty cats. I wiggle my toes and I'll make meowy sounds from time to time. I'm okay with that. That's me being in the space. So you have to be mindful that you don't just gratitude journal as part of a chore. You don't do it and think, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Things are just going to shift. You still have to do your part. And by doing your part and finding that positivity in each day, it's going to allow you a whole different mindset. And it will allow you to be able to handle things a little bit more in that day. So, number 2, kind of goes hand in hand, of course. You're staying in the present space to be mindful. And this goes to exactly what I was just saying. If you think about it, how many times have you said, gosh, I just need to start meditating or journaling. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go to yoga. I'm going to do some workout. I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to go. Okay. Now all you've done is taken one job and created it into another job with an expectation that you're supposed to feel zen, peaceful, and balanced. Do not do any wellness exercise with an expectation. You do it to stay mindful. Mindful is a key to your peace, to your joy, and to acceptability. And to be mindful is to be intentional. So that's another word, right? Mindful, intentional, same exact thing. So when you're intentional and you're intentionally sitting down to do your gratitude journal, make it a fun atmosphere. Maybe you pour yourself some coffee or tea or water, whatever the case may be. Maybe you have some light music going. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're sitting in the sun. It's creating a you space for those 10 minutes. It's you staying right there. It's you allowing yourself to literally look out the window, see the little cardinals flying by, and just for a moment going, oh God, that made me feel kind of good. Well, I'm kind of grateful for that. But you got to give yourself the ability to stay mindful without an expectation. Because expectations, when you're healing on trauma and you're trying to be balanced and you're going to be like, live your best life, you're doing it with desperation. You're doing it with, when is this going to happen? When is this going to change? How can I make this happen faster? What can I do? We're not doing that game. Because if you're not doing it to just be in that moment with zero expectation, you will never achieve that inner peace in which you're seeking. So by actually being intentional by doing your gratitude journal, by not just going, oh God, okay, I got to fit in my gratitude journaling. Now it's a whole other job. You're not going to get anything out of it. Okay. So you want to be more intentional. Yes, it might be a little difficult at first. Your mind might be bouncing around. That's okay. Just bring it back to space. Right. And this is imperative for you because being mindful will also allow you to make better decisions in your life. Being intentional will allow you to be able to see other people's perspectives without reacting. You will start responding, not reacting. These are all very important factors that come from being mindful. And something as free, but yet abundant as gratitude gives you this as a foundation to start your day, right? So allowing yourself to get yourself, you don't have to get a pretty journal. You can get a spiral notebook. I like to have a pretty gratitude journal. I take it with me. I'll take it on the plane. Because it's beautiful to have, because it just gives you something aesthetically to look at. Sounds silly, but like every quarter or, every season, I change my both of my phone screens. So now mine's all springy and it looks beautiful and it's pink and it's aesthetic. I like it and I'm grateful for it, because even if I have to look down for a minute on my phone, it's pretty. So you do things to allow yourself to feel comfortable and to give yourself just your space, okay? So number 3 is you appreciate the little things. So you don't have to fill it so much with shopping. You're like, wait, what? Yes, I am the queen of Amazon. I feel like me and Jeff Bezos, we are like brother and sister or boyfriend, girlfriend or something, because I feel like I keep them in business. I'm sure most of you do. And this is why, going back to number 2 of being intentional, this is where you start being more mindful and not looking to fill that dopamine hit with shopping. And I promise I will do an entire podcast on like impulsivity and all of that stuff. But this is important because it's funny. I went to the outlets yesterday. You'll hear this after my ski trip, but I'm recording it before because I'm getting home relatively later on Saturday and I'm not going to have an opportunity to give this to you on time. But so I went yesterday to the outlets because I needed a new pair of ski pants, because my other ski pants, 1, I can't really find them. 2, when I did have them, like the button was not like in a good space and it was just bad. So in the past, I'm literally 7 minutes from the outlet. I'd go down there and I'd be like, oh, that's on sale. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. So I went down. A good girlfriend of mine actually works there, so I got a discount. I got them. Went in to visit my friend's dad into a different store, looked around, did not shop. That is like unheard of for me, because I'll find something and I'm like, oh my God, it's on sale. This $80 thing is on sale for $10. I must have it, because that's not being intentional. So this is where, like I said, if you go on my Pinterest boards or if you follow my stuff, in my brain, and the way you would see it if you didn't know me, you'd be like, my God, she's really got it together. She's a minimalist. It's so many ways she's a minimalist. She's an amazing organizer and cleaner, and she's an amazing chef, all of which is my goals at some point. And when I say minimalism, I don't mean like I'm going to have 3 pairs of shoes, 3 shorts, and no TV. Like, absolutely not. But I do want to be more intentional. And yesterday was a good telltale sign of that, because I was mindful and I was grateful that I just went there, got what I needed to do, and got right in the car and I came home. Again, not very normal. And I like it. This doesn't mean that I'm never going to do a little extra shopping or find stuff. That brings me joy, but I will only do it with intention and not to fill a void. If you think about it, and again, I'm here for it. I'm not saying that I don't do this. Is we fill those things that we're trying to avoid in life, like, like, oh my God, I'm going to go shopping, because you get a dopamine hit. There's a true on dopamine release that happens when you like buy something. But if you've ever noticed yourself buying something and then you're like, okay, next thing, it's good for a minute. And then you're like, you need to get the next best thing. So that's why when you start with your gratitude journaling, you start to realize that all of the things that you keep trying to fill can actually be filled for free. You're not spending a lot of money. And when you do buy something, you're intentional, which means you're going to appreciate it more. So by actually doing your journaling, you start to appreciate the little things that you forget are good, right? And I mean, it's not really a little thing, but it took me 6.5 years to save up for my pool. When summer comes, I like to sit out there, usually by myself. I turn on music. I have my ice water or whatever drinks I'm drinking for the day. I get in. I get on my floats. I'm literally intentional. It's the fruits of my labor. I'm really excited to be there. I don't need a lot of extras. I don't need anything. You know what I mean? So when you start doing your gratitude journaling, you start getting more intentional with everything else around you. So again, domino effect. Right? You hit the domino and it starts knocking down all of the other dominoes. As with anything, if you're going to start negative, you're going to be negative. You're going to be angry with people. You're going to hold grudges. That's going to be a pattern. You're going to hit that. And that's going to become a pattern of your life. And then you're going to be like, this sucks. Everything's sucky. Okay, well, how are you going to shift that? Because it's not for other people to shift it for you. No one's going to feel sorry for you. No one's coming. So it's up to you to shift that mindset. And you can literally do that by starting 10 minutes of gratitude every single morning. And I'm going to keep emphasizing every single morning, and I'm going to always emphasize pin to pad. Again, you don't realize the joy of pin to pad and being able to get it out because you can't off-fly it and process things like that in your head. Stop. Stop doing that because that's not adequate, and you want to be able to pause yourself, right? Pause and make things intentional. Now, number 4 is you don't focus as much into what's not in your control, right? Really think about the things that you get stressed about. Right? You get stressed about things. You're stressed about a lot of things. I need this. This needs to happen. This is out of my control. Oh my God. Why didn't I do this? What if this happens? All of these things come into play, right? So honestly, really think about that for a minute. Think about when you go in peril and you go in stress and you go, I'm not in control of this. Why can't I be in control of this? That's ego, number 1. But number 2, that's where your mindset goes all day long. So then you don't even get to celebrate your achievements. Because remember, it's educate, integrate, celebrate. Which means all of the baby steps that you kind of poo-poo away because you feel like you're not reaching your whatever this magic power higher goal is of yours, you aren't giving yourself credit for those things. And remember, it's never the destination. The destination is not what creates success. You got to get that out of your head. The destination is not the success. It's the journey and the steps that you take to get there. So when you are sitting in gratitude and when you are focusing and you're being intentional, these are things that are in your control. What's not in your control? People around you, people's attitudes, people's actions, their reactions, where you are maybe financially at this moment, or lack thereof love, or dealing with your self-love. Okay, cool. You did not get here overnight. You're not going to unget here overnight. But by allowing yourself to do gratitude and be intentional, you have control of that. It gives you a sense of normalcy. It gives you a sense of not being chaotic as long as you allow yourself to be intentional. Again, 2 different things of doing and being in the moment. You can do the journal and be like, I'm worried. It's ineffective. Or you can do the journal and say, okay, I'm going to stay here while I'm doing this. That's very effective. So there's a fine line. So you got to remember that, right? But really think about that because one of the biggest concerns that you have are things that are not in your control, right? You worry about the things that you can't stop. Well, you have absolute control over this. Literally, gratitude gives you full control of being present. No human can take that from you. A person can't make you feel, in adulthood, a person cannot make you feel anything without your consent. They will create an action, especially if you're dealing with like a narcissist. They can create an action or a verbiage or something, but you're attaching that to it. So what being grateful does in starting a gratitude journal, what it does is it allows you to take back a level of control that you feel that in which you've lost, right? Don't say, well, I do it like 5 days a week. Okay, and that's still not 7, right? It's not about pass fail. It's not about good, bad. This is the number 5. And to me, it's one of the most important. It shows you that you are capable of completing and achieving something, right? Really, really hear that. Because how many times have you said, I know I've been there, thanks to my ADHD, I'm going to start this new project. This new project is awesome, and I am balls to the wall with it. I buy all the supplies, I get everything I need. Oh my God, it's amazing. 2-3 days into it, I am rocking it. Day 4, I'm like, this is boring. I'm not doing it anymore. Right? Now, that's definitely minimized because now I'm more intentional on when I set a project. But I say that to you because by doing your gratitude every day, and let's say your biggest goal is to do it for that week, pick up, now you want to do it for another week, pick it up, do another, even if it's just day by day. Oh, I did it on Monday. I did it on Tuesday. I did it on Wednesday. Don't beat yourself up if you're like, damn, I forgot to do it on Wednesday. It's fine. Just pick up where you left off. Okay. But what this does is it allows you to have a level of like, wow, I started a project and I'm really treating myself and I'm completing this because completing it means doing it forever. right? So you're never going to fully achieve it, but to know that you're consistent with it. So remember, people will tell you it takes 21 days to make a habit. Yeah, it's more like 28. And then to make it a lifestyle, right? So 21 to 28 days, now you have a habit. But to make it a full-on lifestyle where you kind of don't even really think twice about it and it's something that you desire, takes about 4 months. Takes about 4 months, right? Takes about 120 days because you're consistent with it. So now it becomes regular. It's funny, just recently, probably about it's a way of life for me now. Probably about 4 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, I've had a really bad habit in the past of just kind of coming in and dropping my shoes wherever I stand. And then it looks like my shoes are having a party. I got like 3 pairs in the kitchen, 1 in the dining room, flip-flops here, Crocs here, boots here. I was just mindless, right? So I knew that was kind of driving Paul crazy. He's like, hey, just attempt it. Like, I'm not going to yell at you or whatever. Well, first of all, you're not, but like, just attempt it. And so now I've been doing it and now it becomes a habit. I don't even think twice about it. So I don't necessarily want you to go into this and think, great, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to change my life. Okay, calm it down. So your gratitude that allows you to now feel as though you've completed something must be done in combination with micro-goaling. You can always go back and listen to the episode here on the podcast on micro-goaling. Micro-goaling is instead of saying, I'm going to clean the entire kitchen, you say, I am going to clean out the junk drawer. That is it for the day. So where you get yourself in trouble is trying to do it all, trying to do all the laundry at one time. Just do one episode. Good Lord. One load. Just do one said thing. Stop trying to rush the process, which goes into patience, which I promise that might even be the next podcast. I don't know. I have it on my list to do. And patience is going to be accepting and celebrating the small achievements that you think is like, well, okay, that's just what people do. Stop doing that. Celebrate yourself. By the way, it's not for other people to celebrate you. They don't have to see your progress. They don't have to acknowledge it. But you, on the other hand, should be grateful of anything, even when you backslide, right? If you're just coming in, you've never really gratitude journal, and you start for the first week, you're like 7 days in a row, I'm killing the game. And then you forget day 8. Now suddenly you're like, oh my God, I'm this horrible human being. I can't believe I was doing so good. Why did I not? Okay, stop. Oh my God, stop. You can't expect to go from 0 to 60. You can't go from never journaling to going, look at me, I am perfect here. That's an unrealistic expectation. End goal is to get you to have it as a lifestyle to where you don't even think twice about it. Doesn't seem like a chore. It's built into your day. It's a non-negotiable. Because ideally for you, and something that I will always sit on, is you must have time for yourself every day. It's not a, hey, it would be nice. You must. This creates that foundation of creating a new positive mindset shift. But what the beautiful thing that gratitude does is it allows you to start shifting it. Because in a world of a 24-hour news cycle where everything we have on social media is the next best thing, the greatest, the latest, or super doom and gloom, and we have access to it 24/7, my goodness, you can scroll a TikTok, you can go on YouTube, you can watch the news, all of these things, you have so much inundation. And there's so many outside influences. It's like, go get the latest, greatest iPhone. I mean, it's kind of a weakness of mine, but I didn't this year. I didn't get the 13, which again, unheard of. And I can even write it off as a business expense. But I was like, do I really need it? Now, I might get the 14, especially if the cameras are better. But I used to get it every year because it's the latest, greatest. It made me feel good. Okay, I don't need that. Do you need it? Hell no, you don't need it. If you have a perfectly good phone, that's fine. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Usually after 2 to 3 years, your phones start getting really slow, and it's bad because they know that you're going to need to use your phone. So about 2 to 3 years, I think, is a good time to change it in if you can. And it's total side note, but like Apple has that trade-in program, so I don't even have to put any money down. Like, it's paid for, and I just like do it. They made it so it's a lot easier. So anyway, I just say that to you because I want you to realize this gives you so many different strengths. That's just 5 off the top of my head. I mean, I've written them down, but that's just 5. And kind of everything else can be a subsidiary underneath that. But really think about it. It gives you a level of staying present, intention. it gives you a space to, and I don't like the word control, but at least it gives you a space where you don't feel as out of control. It gives you something to look forward to, a little slice of peace just for you. It's not for anybody else. Don't overthink the process. It's not pass fail, right? So that's your homework this week. And I would love if you guys can slide in my DMs on Instagram, official Lori Wheeler, or even in the comments on my TikTok, Lori Wheeler, or here or on my YouTube. It's just drop in or send me an email or send me a text, something that says, how are you incorporating your gratitude journal? What are you finding with it? Give yourself time. Remember, it's not overnight. You don't do it for a week and go, oh my God, I'm so intentional now. That's silly and not even something that's even an adequate expectation. So I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to see what you guys are doing. Feel free to take pictures of your journals, not what's inside of them, just the outside. Send me a picture of you doing your journal. Like, I really want to celebrate you because remember, you have the power. I'm not extra special. I'm not some magic person that's giving you some power. All I'm doing is clearing out the cobwebs and the false sense of belief and the limited beliefs in the power in which you've had. You just have been told that you didn't, and you've been made to feel you don't. So with that being said, guys, go and invest in yourselves. Go invest in yourselves. Look at the sunshine. Look at the clouds. Look at the rain. Look at the puddles. Look at the rocks. Look at the dirt. Look at everything. Remember, you are above ground today. That in itself is enough gratitude. Take time. Take a deep breath and give yourself the gift that will always keep on giving by gratitude. Check it out.